the case, we're going to be having this wonderful matchup to follow up here. It's going to be a loser bracket, and it's going to be Randy, the Zerg player that we saw earlier, playing a very entertaining ZVZ series there against Shodan, Insect, versus his opponent Gomas. Yes, indeed, the Blue Terran. I'm looking forward to this one.
We're down to 6 players now. We started off the day with 8. We're now down to 6. Unfortunately, the games we didn't broadcast were the lower bracket games, and we did lose 2 players. Unfortunately, CLN has dropped out the tournament, who lost against Gomas 2-0.
Yep.
And also we have Zyvol, who I do not know, who lost versus Slice 2-0 as well. We're now moving on into this game, the loser bracket semi-final number 1 between Randy and Gomas. Check if they're both ready.
I certainly hope so.
And it looks like they are, so we can get ready to go. Just need actually Randy to confirm. And then we can get this underway. The first map is going to be Daybreak, Zerg versus Terran. Randy being Zerg, Gomas being the Polish Terran. Both these players teammates as well, both playing for Team Infused.
Yes, they are. And here we go. We are heading into the game right now. It's going to be Randy versus Gomas. We shall see that momentarily. Daybreak, an interesting matchup to start us off on. It's not exactly a commonly seen map.
Yeah, especially outside of Korea. It's mostly seen in Korea and MLG as well. It's been adapted well with IPL as well. But both these players do not play these international tournaments, only ladder, whereas we don't see Daybreak whatsoever.
No, we do not. And honestly, it would be nice if we did, because some of those maps are absolutely awful. Ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to bring you Randy. He's in the red trunks playing Zerg to the southwest of this particular map, Daybreak, versus his opponent Gomas, and teammate, in fact. He is in the blue trunks playing Terran to the northeast.
Right, so Gomas, I have not seen him play in a long time now. It's actually the first time I've met him as well. He's over there, and I didn't know he was actually Polish. I thought he was from United Kingdom, playing in Team Infused, very UK focused, but is actually from Poland. Randy, on the other hand, this kid is crazy. He does so many unique and orthodox builds over and over and over. I mean, one base Spire in Zerg vs Zerg is almost, you know, never ever seen anymore whatsoever. It was very old, like back in the beta days, and that's what Randy, I think that's one of his successes, is that because he's inactive, he uses recycled builds from the beta days, and everyone's like, what? No, you can't use that build. Nobody uses that anymore, but Randy uses it and catches them off guard a lot of the time.
You can, because the metagame has moved past that point and then has shifted to the point where those builds kind of start to work again. It's a bit cyclical in that regard. We've seen actually various players, some of the part-time UK pros do this a lot. Pureball, your teammate, prime example there, he uses a lot of old school builds as well for the same reason. He is a part-time player, doesn't have a huge amount of time to practice, but he can bust out this stuff that he learned earlier, and it works quite well in the current metagame.
The thing is, at this level of StarCraft we're seeing, it's not the highest, but you can use builds as long as you back it up with strong mechanics and strong gameplay. If you were to go into the GSL and put a Korean player that is using beta builds against one that's using up-to-date builds, immediately instant loss. But at this level of play, you can get away with these small things, which is really special to see, because we actually do see crazy games from players like Randy, and it looks like we are going to be seeing a Reactor Hellion expand here from Gomas.
Yes, it does, and Reactor Hellion on this map, not too shabby. If we have a look at the way that the Natural is set up on Daybreak, for instance, you do have this very large area at the back, which is really easy to slide around. However, good building placement can prevent that from happening. Interesting little bit of what looks to be fake bunker pressure here from Gomas, and don't think he intends to follow that up, honestly. He's not building an extra marine yet or anything along those lines.
Yeah, it's a little bit weird because he's wasted a lot of time on this. He hasn't had any drones been pulled off to deal with it. It was very late. And when you do this, you want to be early so the drones come down. And it basically did nothing. The only thing it did do was delay his factory because he's got so much gas. And actually, he goes down the second refinery and his factory was delayed. So if he is going to go for this Banshee play, which it looks like it's going to be here, then it's not going to work out as well as it should have, because the factory was a little bit late, because he spent money in a second marine to do the bunker pressure. He spent money on the bunker as well, which should have been used for the factory here. But we're going to see this Banshee play. Looks like a little bit crazy. Maybe cloaked Banshees coming out here And that's something special. Does not want to let that drone in, of course, and it does get killed off very easily.
Yeah, I have to wonder, as you pointed out earlier, that it would perhaps be just a reactor Hellion opening, that because this bunker pressure, whatever it was, just was a flub, and I think Gomas perhaps realizes that, oh, right, well, now I really can't do this, so what can I do? What's the follow-up to that? Let's switch over to what is basically a 1-1-1 build here from Gomas, and he's going to throw down a tech lab after that, and this is most likely going to be for the swap around immediately going into Banshees. Gas count is getting high enough for Cloak here.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to go into a Cloak Banshee here. The Cloak is 200 gas and the Banshee is 100 basically, so it's going to be 300 gas, which is lined up quite well. Would have been lined up better, of course, if the factory was faster, but that's okay. The Hellion has been shown, and the Marines as well, should force the second Spine Crawler. The Evolution Chamber's on okay timings, actually, it's not bad at all. But will he be able to do anything? We do have the second gas going down. We should be seeing Lair started pretty soon now, and it's actually getting to the point where it's becoming a little bit late if he wants to go Lair, and he doesn't actually. He's thrown down a Roach Warren, surprisingly, and this Overlord on the natural seas for Randy, that the expansion has only just been built at 6 minutes 30. That basically tells Randy there was a lot of time in this game where you've done stuff apart from expanding. What is it?
What is it? And I would be very surprised if he didn't expect Banshee from that. When a Terran stays on one base against Zerg for that long, especially then only showing one Hellion, the chance of a Starport play is incredibly high. It's a very, very logical thing to do. The thing is that Randy hasn't really responded to that yet, so perhaps that hasn't crossed his mind, and that single Banshee will certainly do some damage. Randy's going for the lair, and that's about to complete. He'll be able to get the Overseer out in order to detect this, but the question is then, how do you deal with it? 2 queens is enough if he gets a good engagement. A single queen is not. A Banshee will win that fight, and especially if it gets in there before detection, which it will, then he's going to crush both queens before any response comes in.
Yeah, and now it has been revealed the Spyro's on its way. Creep's been destroyed. The worst choice ever to be killing Creep right now. He has to kill the second queen before the first one comes down to help out, and he does go in now. And he's being a little bit slow and cautious. He needs to be a lot more ferocious with this Banshee.
Yeah, I don't like his decision to just go for drones either. I would have preferred to see him take the queen out. The thing is, if you can kill that one queen, then the second one will die, guaranteed. If you are able to go in there with the cloak, then that's both queens dead. Taking out 2 queens is an exceptional decision because it prevents so much lava injection, and that limits the number of drones that can come out. Picking off a few drones here and there when there's regular lava injects going on, that's really easy to replace. So I'm not really liking Gomas' decision making here.
Yeah, I mean, basically the ideal way for the Banshee to come in should have gone direct above the extractors south, kill the queen, then kill the drones. Like, it should have been so easily done. The second Banshee gets 3 drone kills, which is pretty good. So overall, he has killed 10, as we can see now, which is good. But at the same time, he's killing drones from minerals. It doesn't matter at this point of the game, because this is the point where that would have been a macro hatchery or a faster third base. He hasn't prevented all these mutalisks from coming out, and that's going to be hard to deal with because Stim is only just about to finish. It will finish, but the Marine count isn't that high. He doesn't have an engineering bay. He doesn't have turrets, so he's actually not in that good of a position right now, despite killing 10 drones.
Yeah, and I think that's the mistake that perhaps a lot of people make when they see, oh, look, Banshee harassment, drones are dying. But what you do with that Banshee is the most important decision. If you just go for the mineral line and think, okay, I'm just going to pick off drones, look at the drone count, 47 already for Randy, and looking to try and get denial, but it's not going to happen. There's the cloak. The Overseer is with it already. Randy with an excellent engagement. Saves the third, no problem. The Banshee now down. And as I was saying earlier, those drones, he didn't even manage to pull the drone count back so that he had a lead. It was not a problem for Randy to easily replace those drones where necessary and then go directly into muters. And now we are seeing
the medivac is going in.
Oh no! Oh, there you go. There's a few gas thrown away. That's an unpleasant little bit of harassment here from Randy that picks up a couple more SCVs as well. Can't really engage here just yet, but once he gets enough and once he gets +1, he can clear out that Marine count quite quickly.
And Randy needs to go ahead and deal with this Banshee. It is really easy to deal with.
Yeah, no problem.
And he is going to get that out of the way, but a little bit slow in doing that. It does take a lot of damage from it, but at the same time, it's already done. If you think about the damage that Gomas has self-inflicted to him, by going for Cloak Banshees, they did absolutely nothing compared to what they should have done for the investment of the gas and money into it. Now these Mulis are out. He killed a Medivac as well. He forced a stim, and when that Medivac went down, there was nothing to heal them, of course. So he's actually doing really well in this game. He's out of 45 drones, he needs to focus on a little bit heavier drone count, but at the same time, is you don't want to focus too heavily on it because your opponent hasn't taken third base. Terran player always has two options: third base or two base timing attack. There is no third base. Two base timing attack is coming. Randy just has to crush it.
Yeah, he does. And a little bit of harassment will try and delay that. A supply block has actually happened here as well briefly, but is now then cleaned up. There's actually going to be another base to follow that one up. This is interesting. Gomas sort of, I suppose, kind of faking a timing attack and then following it up with a command center immediately after that. Oh, Overseer gets out of position and Gomas snipes that off very easily. It's a shame he doesn't have any cloaked Banshees now.
Doesn't have any Bailings or anything, so this may not be as easy as it seems.
No, it may not, but the thing is, Randy's Mutalisk count with a +1 is very, very high. It's unfortunate they didn't focus on the siege tanks there to try and take those out, but I would think that Randy should be able to hold this off. Oh no, not the time to undeploy. Absolutely disastrous. And Randy smashes his way through there, cleans that up. Gomas with a extremely unfortunate bit of anti-timing there. That was not the time to leave.
Yeah, basically the reason why he hasn't got Bailings, he wants to higher muta count, and of course because he was delayed for taking the third base for a while because of the Club Banshee, he doesn't really have the gas either to invest in that. Otherwise he wouldn't have had this Mutalisk count, which is now backfiring into Gomas and is doing a lot of damage. His turret will go down as well. Actually no, but he's killing so many SCVs, it doesn't matter. He's now equalized the SCV killer, but he's losing a few too many Mulas here, Total Biscuit. Yeah,
he did lose control a little bit there. I think he expected the missile token to go down quicker than it actually did. Gomas did react extremely fast and got a good repair on it. And Randy at that point thinks, oh, wait a minute, the missile token's not dead. I guess I'll just keep hitting it, and then ends up losing a few meters in the process, which is kind of unfortunate. That's a lot of gas he just threw away there. Thing is, he's about to take his fourth, and the drop coming down in the back, trying to pick off the Spire. He should be able to kill that Spire without too much of a problem, I would think. Yep, it's going to go down. The upgrade will happen before that, so at least feel it. Oh, ouch! That has to sting. That was a really unfortunate
I know, it's like, beat me up, Scotty. No.
Not now. No. Oh, Scotty, why did you do that? I just can't do it, Captain. I don't have the micro, apparently. Yeah. But there you go. Whatever the case, it didn't happen, and that was kind of unfortunate. He did kill a Spire. Okay, not a problem. That's going to prevent Mutas from coming out. I think, though, that's also going to force a nasty response from Randy, because Randy's going to say, oh, okay, I can't build Mutas. I'm just going to build units. I'm going to kill you then. If that's what you want, if that's how you want to play it, not a problem. And this third is not particularly secure right now.
Well, it's got a lot of Marines there, but the Marines are so spread out. I mean, he's going to be able to defend this third. Randy, be careful.
Okay, Randy going with a straight engagement, which is perhaps not all that smart, but if he's able to get around and do some damage, then that'll be great. He's maneuvering around out of range of Gomas' Marines. He's going to just try and power his way forward, take out the reinforcements perhaps, and then do some damage in the back, force the Marines to stim frequently. The medevac count is at 3, which of course is enough to maintain that. Just harass here and there. I think sloppy engagements though from Randy here.
Yeah, I mean, he's fighting toe-and-toe, which you should never be doing. There are so many other holes in the main base of Gomas you could exploit. For example, a single turret next to the factory, so easily taken out. Then you can kill the tech lab. Even above it, the turret above it, and then you have access to the refinery. There are so many areas. Rather than trying to fight against these Marines, I understand that he's trying to take rid of the third base or deal pressure and damage to it, but he actually did nothing there, unfortunately. And we do have another drop at the north side here. Was spotted by an Overlord, but I don't think Randy was watching. He was controlling Mulis instead, so this may come as a bit of a surprise.
Yeah, very well might. It's not a huge number, but certainly enough to do damage. I think there's 2 spines coming up, so I think that should be okay. In the meantime, the Mutas are trying to harass this third down to the bottom here. In comes the drop. Let's see what kind of damage it can do. It'll be able to clean up the drone line. I think that's only about 5 or 6 drones, so that's not all that concerning, and 4 Marines traded for that as well. Not exactly the best drop in the world. Randy continuing just to poke here and there when he can. He is behind in terms of his drone count now. It's very, very low. He's even turning another 2 drones into spines, which takes his count down to 53.
20 drones in production.
Oh my.
Oh, if only Terran could do that. 20 SCVs at once.
And that's why I switched to Zerg.
I would never have trouble in Zerg if I could do that.
Yeah.
But look at all the gas, which is I'm laughing at as well, is he's got 2,300 gas now saved up. That's 23 Mutalisk at once if he just banks up the minerals. Of course, that opens a huge timing window, but not having anything, but oh my god, he already has 12 with another 25 potentially now. That's incredible amounts, and it doesn't even matter about these Marines. That amount of Mulus well upgraded, woohoo.
Yeah, oh dear, undeployed tanks, perhaps delicious. Will he have the units to take it out though? I don't think so. Oh no, Randy going for the engagement. If he had a couple of banelings there, that would have made a massive difference. And it doesn't really matter because Gomas just has a large enough force to break that. Randy needs now, of course, to be producing absolutely nothing but units and will most likely lose this fourth.
Yeah, Gomas' macro and his money management is a lot better. This guy's actually got an accountant, whereas Randy is just, look at his money, it's all over the place. And he's going to lose his fourth base as well. And it's not looking that good for Randy, despite controlling the game without the necessary large amounts of Zerg units, aka the Swarm. Terran will roll over you a lot of the time here.
Yeah, but denying the fourth base nice and easy, taking a bare minimum damage. Gomas does, of course, have to be careful because the counter-attack could come in from Randy, could catch those Marines out of position with a few good Baneling hits here and there. Doesn't really have a lot of upgrades to his ground units, unfortunately, so I don't know how much damage it's really going to end up doing. Muta's able to just clean up a Marine or two here and there, and we notice that Randy's going to expand down to the bottom instead, try and get away from Gomas' attack force, which is now looking quite scary.
That's actually really nice, especially without Baneling speed, because you've been focused on heavy Muta count, which hasn't worked out for you. This army is so strong. It's a 2-1, about to be 2-2 for the Marines. It has +1 attack on the way for the tanks as well. This army's going to crush this fourth base, and then he can very, very easily look for position on that third base of Randy, and once he sieges up in good position, it's going to be so difficult. The army supply 70 or 90 now, just morphed in a lot more Mulus, actually 11 in production. But the well-upgraded, positionally based army of Gomas, if it gets into that position, it's going to be looking good.
Yes, it will. The Muta count, as I said, is starting to get higher once again, but they are still against +2/+2 Marines, and Randy did stop the upgrades. I believe it's just a result of losing the Spire. Ooh, that's a lot of Banelings, but honestly, I don't know if this is an efficient engagement. Oh, dear God, that was unpleasant.
Sorry, I mean, when I see that many Banelings, I'm like, all right, let's go. And then I saw they had no Baneling speed. I'm like,
it's like
the most pathetic Banelings in the history of StarCraft 2.
I don't know. Yeah. I saw that moon match, but that one came pretty close. Randy just donated a wonderful basket of Banelings to Gomas, and Gomas responds in kind by taking away his third base. And Randy is, unfortunately, by the looks of it, starting to throw this game away.
Yeah, I mean, it's looking, oh, he could get good position here. The Marines are very, very low health, and it looks like there is enough to clean this up. But to what end? He's lost the third base, lost the fourth base. He's literally on 2 bases. His main base is almost mined out. His natural is almost mined out. Gomas has a fourth. He has another remaxed army. And Gomas is playing the Terran Swarm in this game, consistent wave after wave.
Yeah, that's unpleasant. No, don't go there. Oh, dear God.
Yeah, GG. Unfortunately, Randy's, micro control and even his macro just slipping a little bit here.
Yeah.